Welcome to Harrow in Western Victoria, where I'm with Sue and Malcolm McClure, who are proud fourth generation wool growers who started their passion for the merino industry in 1970s. We're here to find out a bit about how this passion for wool growing has led to you starting and operating a knitting mill from home, and you actually manufacture high quality garments on farm to value add your product. Let's find out all about it.
Let's go.
So Sue, this is where all the action is. This is a pretty fancy looking machine.
Yes, it is a very fancy machine and I love it to bits. It's the reason why I get up every day and do what I do.
Before we get into the amazing mechanics of this machine and just how it works, we need to talk about one of your passions, which is waste. And we've got a jumper here that was knitted on your machine. And we've got the waste that was produced in the production of this garment. And
That's
I can
right.
scrunch that up into a tiny little ball in my hand.
Yes.
Now that's very different from synthetic fabrics.
Yes.
You've sort of, it's really come home to you as a textiles teacher for many years.
Yeah. So with a synthetic garment, the entire garment is waste, really, at the end of its life. You know, it's not going to decompose. And I think we all understand what's happening with, you know, the microfibres. They're entering every cycle of life now.
Whereas wool is fully compostable.
Yes, it is.
And the only waste in your garment is this tiny little bit of white thread here,
Yes.
which would probably make up an area of my thumbnail, wouldn't
Yes.
it? So that's the only non-compostable waste that you're producing with every garment.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're going one step further. You're not producing fast fashion that hangs on a hook and maybe gets sold and maybe doesn't. Maybe it goes to landfill without anyone actually touching it.
That's right.
You actually knit to order, don't you?
Yes, I do. That's my go-to business model, is to knit to order.
So you've actually got a garment in this machine at the moment that's halfway through being knitted to order.
Yes.
Can we turn the machine on and see how it works?
Sure. And this is actually the first one of this size. So not only is it a knit to order, it's been made to measure, which I feel is pretty important for, you know, people that are having trouble to buy garments that they feel completely comfortable wearing. So I'll just turn it on and you'll see what's going to happen. So it's nearly up to the yoke part of the jumper, but you'll notice that there's 6 cones up here, 3 for one sleeve, 3 for the body and 3 for the other sleeve. So in one pass, it's knitting each sleeve and the body. The whole finished jumper is going to drop out here, and people really don't understand what technology we have here until they actually see it. So if I look at this, there's a back and a front of the jumper there, and when it comes out I'll cut that, pull out those draw threads, and then just finish off a couple of little ends. And that's how much waste we're going to have.
So Sue, in this day and age where people are looking for something different and something a little bit better than the churn, this sort of clothing really makes sense. Not only is it custom made to you, and it fits you perfectly. Wool lasts a lot longer than synthetic garments, and you've made it on site on the family farm in Western Victoria.
Yes, we have.
How cool is that?
It's pretty cool because no one else in the world's doing anything like I do.
Now, the fabric that you're using, or the yarn that you're using, you can't actually get processed in Australia. It's 100% Australian wool, but you have to send it off to Italy to get it processed.
Yes, it's processed in Italy at the Torino 1900 mill, and then I order it through a yarn buyer based in Sydney, and then it's direct freighted to me.
Now, is there a reason why you've chosen the Torino mill in Italy? I mean, you could go to China, or you could go to Vietnam, or you could go to any one of these countries. Why have you gone to Italy?
Lots of reasons, but I suppose one of my main reasons was I wasn't going to buy clothing ever again that was made by women that get paid $1.50 a day. So I know that everyone in the supply chain that I use are going to get paid a living wage and work in decent working conditions.
So triple bottom line stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Australian produced wool, ethically produced.
Yes.
it's then sent and ethically manufactured with people on a living wage with good conditions, and then it's made to order with almost zero waste.
Absolutely.
For a lifelong garment.
Yes.
Slow fashion, with a purpose, and it's made right here.
It is. It mightn't be fast fashion, but it's certainly a fast process to make it.
So Sue, it's not just about knitted jumpers here, is it? You've got a whole range of fashion accessories, from wraps and various other things.
Yes.
Can you tell me about a few things that you're doing that are really unique and unusual here?
A couple of my unique things are things like this native flower scarf. So there's 8 species of native flowers on that.
And it's so soft.
Yes.
That just feels, it doesn't
popular.
feel like a natural fabric to me. It's just so soft.
Yeah.
Just beautiful. You need to do this. You need to come here and do this with it.
And then this is a gum nut one.
Wow.
So it's popular too.
Yeah.
So surprisingly, these are popular for baby blankets as well. So I can put names on them.
Right.
So when I talk about a name, I mean...
So you can put a name and a birth date. So it's a perfect present for someone who's just given birth.
So the other thing that's very popular, which I love, is I've been working with an Indigenous artist at Warrnambool by the name of Sherry Johnstone.
Yes.
So
and this is some of her original work.
This is a piece of her original artwork that's been turned into a knit.
So we have wool grown in Australia.
Yes.
Regionally specific wool.
Yeah.
That's then been processed by one of the finest processors in the world that comes back to on farm to be processed with local Indigenous art.
Yeah.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah. So on our
and the artist is benefiting from this as well.
Yeah, she is. So on our tags that we say it's knitted on Gundi Jamara country, because that's where we both live. So that same piece of artwork we've turned into a beautiful big long scarf. That
is just fantastic.
Yeah.
And these colours are very, very localised to this area, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
And you can turn these out in rapid time as well. Fantastic.
It just does its own thing, that thing down there.
Now, so I'm going to try and fold this up, and I don't have a folding licence. Am I doing any good?
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Do I get it?
Just imagine it's a tart. Fold it to the middle.
So what do I get? Like a C- or a B?
Oh, probably an A+.
An A+?
Yeah.
I would have liked you as a teacher. So, Sue, while we've been over there talking about your fashion lineup, this machine's nearly finished this jumper.
Yes, it is nearly finished.
You've invested a huge amount, not only financially, but also of your time into this.
Yes.
You're really passionate about changing how we think about fashion and textiles altogether, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
What would you like to see change?
I'd like to see all those involved in the entire supply chain get a more equitable share, and I would like to see us seriously think about reducing our impact on the planet by choosing things that are not going to end up in landfill that will never break down.
On behalf of all the people that are watching this video, can I give you a hug?
Yes. Thank you.
This is such an important story, guys. Make sure that you like and share this video with your friends. We need to get people not only using the fibres that can be grown naturally at little to no environmental impact, but also going away from our wasteful habits. Sue and her family have invested so much time, effort and energy into making this happen. Get on board, get in touch with her through the description below, and make sure you support a wonderful regional Australian producer. And if you want more stories like this, hit the subscribe button or you'll miss out. Well, Sue, it might not be fast fashion, but it's long-lasting fashion. Apparently, this once belonged to Malcolm.
Yes, and it was knitted by my grandmother.
Doesn't fit him anymore.
No, it doesn't, but I can knit some that fit him. So that's the other important thing. There's only 2 machines in Australia that can knit a 5XL, and I've got one. I like to do it.